Good morning. It is 7:03 a.m. on Thursday, July 21st, 2016. I almost said January again. I think it's a thing in my head now. Lena, hush. Good girl. Uh, I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just sort of got up. Just got back from walking Luna, and this is 5 more minutes. So I'm running a little behind schedule today, partly because while I was outside with Luna, I just had kind of a long conversation with a guy out there where I'm just walking Luna and a guy comes by. He's on a cane, and he kind of just he calls out that Luna's a good looking dog, which is true, of course. It's pretty common. A lot of people comment on her because she's amazing. But a little unexpectedly, what he suddenly sort of out of nowhere points out is that um, I should look into getting her a Lyme disease vaccine because a lot of people don't know that you can get a vaccine, and that a lot of dogs don't show symptoms, of having Lyme disease. And I was thinking, I mean, maybe that's good advice, but it's a little out of nowhere. I mean, usually I just get whatever vaccines my vet would recommend. I'm not gonna complain about advice or whatever, but at the same time, you get the sense it's like just to sort of bring that up, just volunteer that something's going on there. And so I chat with the guy a little bit, and it turns out that he just had to put down his 13-year-old dog over the weekend. So just days ago. And like that's hard, but like so I could just really tell that this guy seemed like he was kind of feeling isolated in his grief, um, and just needed to talk. And so I kind of just let him talk, and he kind of told me the whole story, and it's just the whole thing about his dog had these various problems, and take her in and they give her this medication, and that seems like it'll be good, and they give him an estimate of like, oh, to get this procedure it'll probably cost about this much, but then when he takes her in to do it, they say, oh, well, we actually found this other thing, it's going to be more now, and oh wait, we can't actually do it right now because it's turns out that the treatment for this other thing is going to counter have a bad interaction with one of the medications we already gave her. Now we're going to have to wait 2 more weeks. Oh wait, no, now she needs this other thing first, and just feeling very frustrated that at how imprecise all of this is. And I think anybody can relate to that, especially when it concerns life and death of a member of your family. I mean, and that stuff's true even with people, right? It's certainly not unique to veterinary medicine. And so I knew I was kind of running late in terms of my normal routine, but I could tell he just needed to talk about it. And I mean, ultimately, I think what he was really struggling with was just a feeling of like did he do the right thing? What could he have done differently? How did I fail my dog? Is what he kept saying. And not in a teary way, but just sort of a wanting to figure it out, wanting to understand way. And that's something I think anyone can relate to. But it really kind of just dovetailed with something that has always been really meaningful to me, and oddly enough had literally just come up recently in the stories of writing, in Phyllis Esposito, where it's all about second guessing the decisions you've made, and looking at the outcome and wondering what might have been if you'd done something differently. And what it kind of comes back to as advice I was given by a therapist once, which is just all decisions are made with insufficient information. You can't wait to do anything until you're 100% sure, because even if you eventually get to that 100% certainty, it will be too late then. So that doesn't mean just rush around and don't think about anything, but it just means you can never be sure. You always just kind of have to do the best you can with the information you have. Yeah. And, we talked a little bit about just like the spirituality of it. Like, do I believe that, in the spirit world is how he put it. And what I talked about there is just the idea that as someone who's sort of has a scientific inclination, I tend to want to believe in things that I can see or measure, but at the same time, even just within the scientific world, it's certainly true that there are lots of things that you can't see, and it doesn't mean it's not there. Maybe you just don't have the right instrument to see it yet. Like, they're bringing online a brand new space telescope, and to test it, they pointed at a piece of sky that looks black otherwise, but with the new space telescope, there's galaxies there. How many galaxies? How far away? How many stars are in those galaxies? Who knows what's out there? And, without that telescope, you look at that piece of sky and you say there's nothing there. But that's not true. And so, anyway, I could definitely tell that the guy just needed to talk. He just needed someone to listen for a little while, so I did. And I'm no hero or anything, but I was glad that I was able to be there for him in a small way. But in any case, running late for work now, so I'm gonna get going. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes. How about that? Okay, bye.